Sugar, honey, honey, you are my sugar, honey, honey.
I'm gonna scare the shit out of this guy. Ah! Ah! Good morning. It is May 25th. I just got back from a 5-mile run. I am beat. I got a friend texting me. My guy's out front. We got to start our day. What do you say we get to it? It's 8:21. We're chilling at the Circle K parking lot, which is actually where I ran to today. 5 miles, so 2.5 miles each way. I don't know, man. A lot of anxiety last night. Feel it in my chest. Going to sleep, and so I woke up like 4 o'clock this morning, like just couldn't sleep. A lot of stress, you know. So I figured, well, let me get back to the basics, what I know best, and I know running. It clears me up. So I got up, I did the things I needed to do, and hung around, did some paperwork. I didn't do any paperwork last night. Just worked on my video, really, and then I went to sleep early. And figured, well, I'll go for a run. Ended up running a little bit further than I thought I was going to run, but it felt really good. I needed to do it. Alright, so what happened is, this gray car, guy gets out and drills this black truck's paint. Then he goes in the store and gives this guy a head nod as this guy's sitting in his car. Now this is the guy with the black truck. That's one pissed off guy right there. Let's watch what happens. Oh, damn. He's leaving? Oh, he's slamming them doors. He had words with that guy. He had words. Nice. Incredible that the guy in the gray car, when he gets out of the back seat, that one, he gets out, he drills the truck, he walks in front of the truck, the guy in the black truck gets out of the driver door, and the dude that drilled the truck gives a head nod. Unreal. At least fake an apology. That's hero right there who hit it. Oh. Maybe if he pulled his pants up, he wouldn't have such a hard time getting out of his car. I don't know, just saying. Guys, just to give you an update of today so far, it is 1 o'clock. We are just about done with today's work, what would be scheduled for today. But I got to do a few carried over from yesterday because I lost a little bit of time with my Gravely breaking down. And then once in a while, gave me a call and asked me if I can get her done today. So she lives right by me, and I was like, yeah, just unlock the gate. So we got 4 more to go, and like I said, it's a little after 1. So what I'm going to do is, he's on the, what is it, the FS70 trimmer. They're all edged, they're all mowed. I did the hedges, everything's done. So I'm going to go ahead and take the edger apart, and I'm going to put my weed eater attachment on to my Kombi. So that's why it's really cool to have a Kombi system, because I can use it, like I used it earlier to trim a fence, a wood fence. I trimmed the bottom of the wood fence to make a little bit of clearance after I even brought the hinges up too. We got that working nice for her. So I got to use the chainsaw with that motor. I used the edger all day long with that motor, and now I'm going to use the weed eater with that motor. And help him, you know, kind of catch up a little bit and take some of the weed eating burden off of him. So he's got these two unlocked, so I'm going to go do the last one, and then he can jump on a blower and I'll jump on a blower and get going. So we can get out of here, let the dogs out, and then we got a handful to do to finish our day. Alright guys, so I want to show you this V yard right here, okay? So this is picture number one. This is kind of a far away picture. It's got a pretty good V in the yard, and that can get a lot of people in a lot of trouble if you don't know what you're doing. Here's a little bit of a closer picture, and I want you to see the deck. The left side deck of my mower is very, very close to being right down in the middle of that V. So while you're mowing along, you got two choices to make. Which side of your deck are you going to put in there? The left side or the right side? Well, let me tell you, you definitely want to put the left side in, and here's why. See how the side is closed off? That is your anti-scalp guard. Go ahead and shove that part of your deck right down deep in the V. I mean, get it in there, no issues, no worries, do what you got to do. Why? Because the left side of your deck, or I'm sorry, the right side of your deck is wide open like that. And what happens is the deck will actually go into the part of the ground that's going back up, the neighbor's V, if you will, and you're going to start scalping the neighbor's yard. You're going to be like kind of like a knife. See, there's nothing there to protect the neighbor's yard. It's an open deck, and you'll end up scalping the shit out of it. So go ahead. Here's a kind of a view from a little bit back, but go ahead and shove that part of the deck, the left part of the deck. Now I'm in the V. I moved the mower down. Shove that left side of your deck right down there to the V, and use that as the separator between your customer's yard and your neighbor's yard, and you're not going to scalp the yard. Now, if you do that with the other side, you're going to be in deep doo-doo. So here's a pretty good view. This is what I do. I go straight down the V with that part of the deck, and I mean, it's in there. I have that deck in there, and that cuts down on the weed eating. So if you try to do this with this side of the deck, again, it's open, and you're going to gouge the hell out of the neighbor's yard, and you definitely don't want to do that, because then you have to go back and do a lot of repairs like this right here. It just isn't right. If you can see how the deck is further over into the neighbor's yard and perfectly lined up in the V, that blade is just scalping that lawn, the neighbor's yard right there, and that can make for a big problem. So just a little did you know. So next time you're coming up to a ditch or a V in the yard, if you want to call it that, remember the left side of your deck is V friendly. The right side of your deck will scalp the living hell out of it. So just an update to the whole Subway thing. Went in there just now. I ordered a sandwich. They made it right. I didn't even have to tell them. They made it the right way. Maybe they're catching on. Here we go with today's joke of the day. Okay, this joke is brought to us by Cindy of Florida. Today's joke of the day. What do you call a scared dinosaur? What do you call a scared dinosaur? Nobody? A nervous Rex. Get it? A nervous Rex? A nervous wreck? I like it. So my day started with a 5-mile run. Then we went to work. My day's ending with some time-lapse photography. And, I don't know. A good time.
You are my Cougar.
Alright guys, let's close out today's vlog with a little bit of Q&A and some comments. We're just going to go through the first like 15 or 20 that kind of make some sense. So we're going to run through them kind of quick. I'm in G 8 minutes ago wrote, "Your vlogs always inspire me to do better on my channel. Thank you for the consistency and innovation. Keep up the good work." Signed it, Iman. Well, thank you, Iman, and he responded to yesterday's video. I do appreciate that very much. For some reason, though, you always come across in my spam folder, so I always have to approve your comments. So I hope you're not spam, but if you are, whatever. The words were pretty cool. 42 Haim, H-A-I-M, 42 H-A-I-M. Thanks to your video, I was able to put HL100K together, and he signed it his name, H-A-I-M, Haim. So he's talking about the video that I did I took apart and sharpened the blades on my Stihl extended length articulating hedge trimmer. So that's pretty awesome, 42 Haim. You are so welcome. Dan the Man 3 hours ago is responding to a video, Terrorist Snake, where I'm asking what's the name of this snake, what is it? He said it's a banded water snake. It eats frogs and fish, not venomous, not venomous. Should have let it live, dude. Nope, sorry, customer says kill snakes, I kill snakes. Elvis Munoz, thanks for the info, guys. I just ordered a stream injector from eBay for $22. So it looks like Elvis has ordered himself a Downstream chemical injector. And Mr. Gentry wrote, right now is a bad time for breakdowns around here. Pretty much only one shop in the area right now, and that is causing a major backup. He is running 4 weeks behind and hired 3 more mechanics, so now he has 7 mechanics and still can't get caught up. Wow. Yeah, you're right, Mr. Gentry. That would be a bad time. Yoma Guimond, poor you, Dan, but that is good news. They got it fixed for you the same day. Dude, who you telling? Man, dude, I was so happy. Enjoying the sun, 577, Jersey Customs, 12 hours ago. Oh, man, Dan, I must have jinxed you on that 7,000. Yes, you did. I remember that comment where you said that you were going to start playing around with the 7000 series Kohlers to see how they work. Don't let the starter upset you. That starter is put together on the same assembly line that probably goes on to Kawasaki's, goes on to so many other mowers in the same assembly line. It's an accessory part. Anything mechanical can break at any time. That's just the way it is. Snow RK. Damn, Dan, I would have popped a couple discs doing that. Amazing. He's commenting to me, pushing the mower up the ramp. Dude, I got lucky. Prodigal Son. Good video. Thank you, Prodigal Son. Dandy Lawn. Yikes. I've had to push mine in once, but I found a hill to park on and made a run for it. I never thought you were going to push that in there. Nice job. You are the man. You're handsome. You're gorgeous. I wish I was... No, wait. I'm adding all that. I'm making that up. Miami, Florida. Keep your head up. Keep yourself busy. Great videos like always. Dan the man. Thank you, Miami, Florida. And I'm right. I was right at the border, man. County line Lexus. County line between Miami and Dade County and Broward County. County line Lexus. That used to be my customer, brother. It's a small world. Get Tin Rings is his name. 19 hours ago. This is what I did when starting my old lawn care business. And he put mow, trim, blow, half acres or less, $35 with his phone number. At the time, I was targeting only small in-town yards. I grew it to 117 yards in 9 months. Worked great. You are right. It saves all the running around, wasting gas and time. He's talking about flat rate pricing. Flat rate pricing is awesome. It's kind of hard to do with lawns, but you can do it. You know, you got to be a little bit careful, but you can do it. It does. It saves you a lot of time on estimates. And right there, if the customer calls you off of your yard sign and it says 35 bucks, 40 bucks, cut, edge, trim, they know it's going to cost them that much. If they call you, they're a closed deal. That's it. It's yours to lose. You have to say something stupid. You know, I mean, they called you. They know what you do. They know what you charge. Why else would they be calling you? You got the job. Go get it. Anthony Dufresne. Man, you have a horseshoe somewhere on you to get that mower fixed so fast. I'm glad it worked out for you. Man, I tell you what, I do miss living in Georgia. Good old Kelly Hill, says Greg Stacy. Kelly Hill, I believe that's Fort Benning, right? I wasn't stationed out in Fort Benning, although I did go there once or twice for some type of operational crap that we had to fly out there with. But Dan, one good question. Do you miss the Time Master? Is it worth the investment? I do not miss the Time Master. It is not worth the investment. Snow Arcade. Do you use 12% sodium chloride on all types of exterior house finishes? If yes, how do you mix? Robbie Mather responded with, go back to Dan's playlist on his channel and look for the pressure washing videos. He explains everything in great detail about his methods and house wash mix. Dan uses a Downstream injector to mix his chemicals and detergents with the water flow. That is true, Robbie. However, if I use the 12.5% sodium hydrochloride, I do dilute it in my chemical tank as well as the Downstream injectors diluting it, because that stuff is so strong. It's a waste of money to spray it on straight like that. So you got to go back into my mix, but I think I actually go like, gosh, I don't know, man. When I put it in there, probably like maybe 2/3 of the 12% to 1/3 water in my chemical tank, and then I let it even dilute even more. The thing is about 12%, it doesn't necessarily need to be stronger. It just works out to be cheaper. I dilute it down. 12% through the chemical injector, you will kill the grass around your house. You will kill the plants around the house. That is some strong stuff even through the Downstream injector. So I dilute it.
If you find that you're diluting it too much, that you just can't get it to cut the mustard and it won't clean, then add a little bit more mixed, a little bit more of your 12% in there and take some of the dilution out of your chemical tank. I'm telling you right now, I would start out with about 50% water, 50%, 12.5%, and then let it run through your chemical injector. Now the 10% that's a totally different ball game. The 10% is what I use mostly because I don't need to buy a 600-pound drum. I don't use that much of it, especially this time of the year. I'm only pressure washing once every 10 to 12 days, 10 to 14 days. So, and I don't want the bleach losing its potency. So I get the 10% in easy to manage 150-pound, 15-gallon drums. And the 10%, I put it in the chemical tank with a little squirt of soap for a surfactant, and I let it go just like that. I don't dilute it anymore in my chemical tank. But go back in my playlists for pressure wash business videos, Snow RK, and Robbie, you should too, because you're right, but you're missing that big part about 12% does get diluted. So go back through pressure wash business videos, and that will explain a lot. Justin Ashcraft says, put a solid eye bolt in the front of the trailer and keep a come along with you, or even some ratchet straps will help. I actually edited out that part of the vlog yesterday where I actually said I wish I had a come along with me right now. If I couldn't get it in there, I got some local friends I could call, and there's always people in the neighborhood I could wave down. So I could have got it in there, but that doesn't make for good videos. So it was worth struggling. It was pretty cool. Doolin, cut and trim. LOL, that was me last week. Had to push my mower up a hill, then up the ramps to get it into my truck. Felt like an absolute boss. Yeah, I bet you did, getting it into your truck. Damn. Gold tops rock. Great video. I have a Gravely Pro stance and my dealer is great. Question. How picky are you about your lawns? I find myself being overly picky, which costs me time. It's an OCD thing, I guess. No. I am the same way, and I'm trying my best to back off of my like, people always say you're your own biggest critic, right? And I'm trying so hard to, I look at other lawn services work and I laugh. I'm like, Jesus, man, that looks terrible. Look at the weed eating. And I look at mine and I'm like, perfect, an edge and it's square and it's got to be just right. And I start to learn. I'm starting to figure out. Look, 99% of the people that hire you to cut their grass, are just happy you freaking showed up and they don't have to do it this weekend. That's it. If you're charging them a fair price, you're being reliable, man, they don't care if there might be an accidental blade sticking up here and there. They don't care if the weed eating has a little chop to it, here and there. They don't, if there's a product, they'll give you a call. They'll say, hey, you're cutting a little bit too low, or hey this, or hey that, and then you can adjust fire. The whole being so super anal, man, you're right. I'm the same freaking way. That's why I've been forcing my guy to weed eat and edge all the yards right now, and I've been taking a step back, and I've been mowing and blowing and kind of relaxing, and his weed eating sucks compared to my weed eating, but I have not had a complaint yet. I have not had a complaint. Now, if something is really, I'll say, hey, dude, you got to kind of, like I'm trying to get him to hold his arm up some more so he doesn't have the back of the weed eater burning the grass and kind of, so I am teaching him things like that, but I haven't had a complaint. He's been weed eating with me now for like the last 2 weeks, pretty much solid. And so you're right. I mean, I get it, man. Juicebox asked me, how do I charge to apply Milorganite? I don't necessarily charge. I'm not a licensed applicator, right? We talked about that yesterday. Darwin, you got the last one. Great vid. I think Gravely just won me over on their customer service. I got one more I want to read. Taylor Hurst. First comment. Why do you cut your lawns so short? Why not cut them at 4 inches? That way the fertilizer will show up great and get that lush green yards. Because with the centipede grass around here, if you cut at 4 inches, we'll lose our kids in about a week. You won't be able to find your kids and small dogs. I usually cut them at 2 3/4 to 3 inches. Some people, that's not even low enough. They want it even lower, especially if they have weeds, because they want it down like a carpet, and weeds don't make a carpet. So, it's all up to the customer, man. If I have a customer that says, I want you to cut it up high, word. But it doesn't make it easier the second time around, because, I cut it at 4 inches. I come back in 2 weeks and it's 6 inches, and I still got to get it down to 4 inches. I cut it down to 2 3/4 inches. In 2 weeks, it's at 4 3/4 inches. I still got to get 2 inches off. No matter what, the grass still grows the same height. I get what you're saying, but it all has to do with the customer and who's writing the check. And they're writing the check. And if they say golf course that shit, I'll golf course that shit. As long as it's not going to damage my equipment, I don't care. Customer's always right. But the first time around, I'm going to let them know that your yard's going to look like shit. I'm going to need extra money, you know. But other than that, once I have the yard cut once or twice, it doesn't matter to me. I'm not laying stripes, so I don't care about yard, you know, about the grass laying down one way or the other. So, anyways, that's about it for the Q&A. All right, guys. So, what a day, what a vlog, man. I mean, I'm trying to have some fun here. I'm trying to shorten them up a little bit. I'm still going to do some good mowing vids and stuff like that in the near future, but I'm doing a lot of practicing and playing with other things and different music and stuff like that. So if you like that song, go ahead and check out in the description. There's a link to that song so you guys can download it for yourself. It's pretty cool, man. I really like it. And, you know, just messing around with some of that time-lapse photography and doing some jump cuts and stuff like that. Just trying to clean up my vlogs, trying to make it a little bit more fun. Still give you something like the deck information, you know, information on the deck. Have a little fun with my guy, scaring the shit out of him. You know, do some Q&A, stuff like that with you guys, but try to shorten it up. So, I don't know. I had a lot of fun today. I'm pretty tired. It's getting kind of late. It's almost 8 p.m. So we got to go ahead and get this thing saving, and I'll try to get this thing up tonight. If not, first thing in the morning, man. Thank you guys very, very much for hanging out with me like you do. You guys get me through my day. I tell you what, you have no idea. Thank you, guys.